Внимание!
Attention, evacuation is in progress.
Внимание!
Attention, evacuation is in progress.
This is Orenburg, Russia. The water level in the city has already reached 2 meters. All households are flooded. Evacuation is underway. On April the 7th, the head of the Ministry of Emergency Situations, Kahkovka, came to personally witness his presence in the flooded Orsk. He said that the residents allegedly were warned about the flood a week ago.
The townspeople themselves are to blame for the fact that they now have to get out of the flooded Orsk. The evacuation was announced a week ago. People did not make decisions. They said it was some kind of joke. Alexander Kurenkov, Minister for Civil Defense, Emergency Situations and Disaster Relief Efforts of Russia, in interviews with propaganda media.
However, residents of Orsk claim that Kurenkov's words are not true. On social networks, people wrote that the evacuation was announced after the dam broke, and on April the 3rd, the city mayor insisted that there was no danger.
No measures are being taken. They are stupidly waiting for us to be flooded. We contacted the administration, the Ministry of Emergency Situations, and they told us that no measures would be taken. Evacuation only. We haven't been flooded yet, but the water is coming. Why do we need the compensation? Are we going to rebuild our houses with these 100,000 rubles? Resident of Orsk quotes the Telegram channel We Can Explain.
Let's recall that the first dam breakthrough occurred on the evening of April the 5th on the left bank of the Ural River in Orsk. Thousands of houses in the old city area were flooded. The next day, the dam broke on the right bank of the Ural River, and the authorities announced an evacuation in the village of Nikel as well as in the new city area. The water is still just rising. Locals say that an elderly woman drowned in her own home. They cannot get the body, citing the alleged lack of divers. This is despite the fact that rescuers from the Ministry of Emergency Situations undergo diving training. Residents also complain about the lack of drinking water.
Federal channels say there are no interruptions in drinking water supply, but black water comes out of the tap, and there is no water in the store. Resident of Orsk quotes the Telegram channel We Can Explain.
During the flood, at least 5 people have already died in the Orenburg region. In just 3 days, a dam broke 3 times in Orsk, which, according to local authorities, was built for almost 8 billion rubles in 2014. People in turn go to rallies calling Putin help and shame to the authorities.
So many policemen are here. Why are they here? Why aren't they at the sites where it was flooded?
At a spontaneous rally on April the 8th, people demanded that the mayor of Orsk explain how their housing will be restored, what compensation they will receive, and why the police are not protecting their property from looters. The mayor did not answer the questions and returned to the administration building. Putin did not comment on the situation in the Orenburg region and in the other 39 regions affected by floods either. According to experts, the reason for another collapse is the negligence of the Russian authorities.
Huge funds were invested in an illegal and in fact temporary structure, the Kerch Bridge. Meanwhile, in Russia itself, bridges are being destroyed without repair. The latest example is the collapse of the Paninsky Bridge in Vyazma, Smolensk region. Russia attacks dams on Ukrainian reservoirs, but is unable to repair its own dams. Due to breakthroughs and floods in the Orenburg, Kurgan regions and other regions, populated areas are flooded. From a message from the Center for Strategic Communications on Telegram.
The Russian authorities, according to Forbes estimates, spent $300 million on the war against Ukraine every day, while the residents of the Federation are faced with economic problems, impoverishment, and an endless series of social problems. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Yulia Granovska, UATV News.